all news, all the time. This is 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM, New York.
Good morning. 73 degrees in Manhattan at 10 o'clock. I'm Linda Lopez, and here's what's happening. We shouldn't get it as bad as last time, but smoke and haze from the wildfires in Canada are back today for the city. An air quality alert is in effect for the city until midnight tonight. Troubles at the airports expected to continue today. The FAA says today will be the busiest travel day at the airports for the 4th of July holiday. A man who was in charge of food service for New York City schools has been convicted of bribery after a food vendor he used allowed icky things like chicken tenders riddled with bones and bits of metal onto school kids' plates. One man is dead, another wounded after a shooting in the Bronx just after midnight last night. And a new study is giving you another good reason to change your sheets on a regular basis. 1010 Wins AccuWeather. We have those air quality alerts for the city, really for most of New York and the Jersey suburbs, Long Island, for levels that will be unhealthy, but we'll get details in AccuWeather coming up in a minute. Winds News Time, 10:01. Let's get our check of traffic and transit on the ones. We head over to Russ Meyer.
And Linda, good morning. We'll talk first about the west side of Manhattan and delays on Henry Hudson Parkway. The southbound side is jammed up beginning at the GWB all the way down to 125th. That is the site of a crash. You can go with Riverside Drive and Broadway or Harlem River Drive. Everything else is doing all right for folks. Also looking at the trek through Brooklyn and Queens by way of the BQE. Inbound Gowanus, eastbound BQE going to be slow from the Belt Merge to Atlantic Avenue, while the BQE is going to get you on the southbound side, the westbound side from Queens Boulevard on down towards around Meeker Morgan. Also, we have slowdowns on the westbound BQE coming on up towards the Grand Central on the west leg, getting a report of a crash. We'll check that out for you. Here's what we see on Long Island's Big Three. Really nothing major for the LIE or the Northern State or Southern State. And here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels at the Staten Island crossings. The only slowdowns I have for you are over at the Outer Bridge crossing, which is sluggish going into New Jersey. This report is sponsored by Stu Leonard's Farm Fresh Foods. This week at Stu Leonard's Farm Fresh Foods, enjoy big savings on juicy bone-in ribeye steaks direct from the Midwest, only $13.99 a pound, save $2. Plus wild-caught cold water lobster tails, 4-ounce average, only $5.99 each, save $4. For more savings, visit thenewstuleonards.com. Traffic and transit every 10 minutes on the ones, breaking traffic alerts whenever they happen. I'm Ross Meyer, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
And let's get the latest now from the 1010 Winds AccuWeather forecast so we know exactly what we're dealing with this air quality, Team DeFore.
Yeah, what we're dealing with right now is we're right on the cusp in the city. Some areas are into that unhealthy for sensitive group number, which is above 100. Other places are still in the moderate number, which is just below 100. Then you go inland Jersey suburbs and some of the Hudson Valley suburbs, and that's where we transition to more just orange numbers. And then you got to go to the Jersey, Pennsylvania border to get to the red numbers where it's unhealthy for everybody. The other situation is in going in the opposite direction. The farther north and east you go, the better the air quality is. Moderate to even good on the eastern side of Long Island and up into the Connecticut suburbs where we don't have the air quality alerts. But this is going to be an afternoon that you want to take care of, especially as we get in the afternoon and evening with this warmth and the sunshine mixing in. Pollutants will create those unhealthy for sensitive group situations. We're going to continue to see that tomorrow. You're right in this aspect, Linda, that it is not as bad as the episode that we had about 3 weeks ago in early June. We've had other episodes of smoke and haze, and it kind of rivals this one. We'll see this number still in these areas tomorrow in terms of the air quality. Hope to get better as we go into the weekend. We'll talk about the weekend and the holiday forecast coming up in 10 minutes on New York's weather station, 1010 Winds on 92.3 FM.
Yes, well, at least today we're not dealing with the rains or the storms that we have been dealing with the past couple of days. But even with that being the case, we're still having issues at the airports. In fact, the FAA is predicting that today will be the busiest travel day at airports for the 4th of July holiday period. Our Glenn Schuck at Newark Airport again today, checking out all the troubles. Glenn.
Yeah, my new home away from home here, and you have to feel for the people that have gone through what they've gone through this week. Still 250 cancellations, Linda, we're being told in the last 24 hours here. Most, though, were wrapped up by midnight, and they're hoping today will get better. But now you add in the hazy smoke here and the crush of this holiday week, so these next few days are going to be interesting. I just spoke with an 18-year-old Avi Berger from Queens with a dozen other friends, finally on their way to the trip of a lifetime for them after it was supposed to happen Sunday, then Monday, now hopefully today.
So we're going to this travel camp in Guatemala called Lost Camp. and it's a really exciting camp. It's really intense, and we're headed to Guatemala for 3 weeks, and our trip was postponed because of the weather from Monday to now, which is Thursday.
So does this cut into the camp time, or are you still going to, I mean, how is this going to work for you?
No, it cuts out almost a week of camp.
Oh, that stinks.
Yeah, it's a real bummer.
Better? I mean, are you getting out of here today?
Yeah, I'm trying to stay positive.
Staying positive, hoping, Linda, he's going to get out about 4 today. I should mention finally here that the parking lots here, too, if you're planning on the short-term lot here at Terminal B, it is absolutely packed. So you want to factor that in, too. Glenn Schuck, 1010 Wins, 92.3 FM here at Newark Liberty.
Yep, definitely check ahead before you head to those airports. Well, a man who was in charge of food service for New York City schools has been convicted in a bribery case after it was found that a food vendor he used allowed icky things like chicken tenders riddled with bone and bits of metal onto kids' school plates. Former City Department of Education official Eric Goldstein and 3 men who founded a school food company were found guilty of bribery, conspiracy, and other charges. The 3 men wanted their food company to get into the New York City school system. So around that same time, those men formed another company with Goldstein to import grass-fed beef. Prosecutors said that amounted to paying Goldstein off, and the substandard food ended up in New York City public schools. The charges carry the potential for 20 years in prison. No date has been set yet for the sentencing. Senator Kirsten Gillibrand is trying to make it easier to support people who file red flag petitions. Those are the petitions which try to keep the guns out of hands of troubled or dangerous individuals. At a press conference in Manhattan today, she's introducing the Flag Act because the current process for law enforcement, community members, or even healthcare professionals to file a red flag petition for an emotionally distressed person is burdensome, and it makes them act as an in-the-moment lawyer to get that order approved. Timothy Diamond, president of the New York State Investigators Association, says he's in favor of the act.
The Flag Act that Senator Gillibrand is going to be discussing is to bring funding to police agencies and oftentimes not just police, the petitioners on these extreme risk protection orders. And that funding is so we can have attorneys represent us.
And Gillibrand also says that all too often the perpetrators of mass shootings and dangerous crimes have a known past of threatening or even violent behavior, and this act is key to help the red flag filing process. 1 man is dead, another wounded after a shooting in the Bronx just after midnight last night. Police responded to a call of shots fired at East 213th Street and Holland Avenue about 12:30 a.m., where they found a 34-year-old man with a gunshot wound to the leg. He was taken to Jacoby Hospital and is in stable condition. But another man, a 26-year-old who had already been taken to Montefiore before police arrived, suffered a gunshot wound to the chest and was pronounced dead at the hospital. There have been no arrests, and police say the investigation remains ongoing. Well, we're expecting big news out of the Supreme Court today as a new round of decisions from the court is expected to be released on some of the biggest cases of the term, including a decision that could determine whether President Biden's $400 billion student loan forgiveness plan is constitutional.
The plan would forgive up to $20,000 in debt for people like Ashley Robinson. If the court rules against Biden's debt relief, Robinson says she may join a growing movement calling for a union of defiant borrowers who will simply stop making payments.
I have sworn up and down that I am just not paying on these anymore.
Robinson says she's paid about $33,000 toward her $50,000 loan balance.
That's correspondent Justin Finch reporting. Wins News Time, 10:09. Now this message, immigration problem? Call Spector Law Group, 646-543-0745.
New to the Bet Rivers Casino app? Then let's show you around, starting with tons of amazing slots, including the exciting Tiger Lord and Peacock Beauty. Or check out the action of Live Dealer Lightning Roulette and our incredible Live Dealer Blackjack. Plus, add our award-winning customer service and the fun never ends. Bet Rivers Casino app with slots and live dealer games. It's a whole new game. Download it today.
Must be 21 plus. Available in New Jersey only. Void where prohibited. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Get moving in the most electrifying Honda vehicles yet, like the CR-V and Accord, with available hybrid powertrains designed for more responsive performance. Honda, the 2022 Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com Best Value brand. For a limited time, well-qualified buyers can get a 3.9% APR on a 2023 Honda CR-V hybrid or 2023 Accord hybrid.
Contact your local Honda dealer today.
See dealer for financing details based on 2022 brand image awards from Kelley Blue Book. Visit kbb.com for more information.
In my Legoland, I can fly around on a fire-breathing dragon, or fight bad guys in Ninjago, hiya, or splash around with a crew of pirates.
There's so much to do at Legoland New York. You better plan to spend a couple days.
To drive, beep beep.
Did I mention there's an on-site hotel? Because he's gotta sleep sometime, right?
Or soak people with water cannons, or climb a castle tower, or build a moon rocket, or sell my own.
Build your summer vacation now at Legoland.com.
You aren't just one you. There are many sides to you. There's the one that lives for drama.
When you play the Game of Thrones, you win or you die.
The one with the wild side.
I'm on my way to Flavortown.
And the one who's a kid at heart.
You will respect my authority.
There are many sides to you. And they all deserve the best. Introducing Max, the one to watch.
Start streaming iconic series, movies, originals, and family favorites. Subscription required. Visit Max.com.
Winds News Time, 10:11. Time for traffic and transit on the ones. How are we doing out there, Russ Meyer?
It's a bit rough for those hitting the west side, Linda. We've got Henry Hudson Parkway all backed up southbound with the delay beginning at the George Washington Bridge and extending down to 125th Street. The culprit there is a crash taking out a lane. Also looking at delays on the east side on the FDR, which begin at the RFK Bridge, extending on down towards 73rd Street. And northbound's also a bit slow between the Williamsburg Bridge and the 59th Street Bridge. And we'll check in on the drive in Brooklyn. Inbound Gowanus, eastbound BQE type out there from the Belt Merge to Atlantic Avenue. And westbound, it's a bit slow from Queens Boulevard to the Kosciuszko Bridge. And again, from Flushing Avenue to Tillery Street. And also of note, on the eastbound BQE west leg, just before Grand Central Parkway, we have word of a crash. So that's going to tie up traffic as well. Also, is what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. We'll check out the Upper East River crossings, getting word of a crash. Queensbound at the Whitestone Bridge, taking out a lane. So you're better at the Throgsnake. Both are okay going into the Bronx, and over at the RFK Bridge, just a bit slow going into Manhattan. Otherwise, things should be all right. This report is sponsored by AirLingus.com and visit Manchester.com. Our next report at 10:22. I'm Russ Meyer, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
Let's get a check of our 1010 Winds AccuWeather forecast so we can get the latest on the smoke and haze and air quality conditions. Here's Dean DeVore.
Yeah, and really, again, we are, in some ways, we're dodging a bullet. I think you could put it that way. The amazing smoke and haze and really terrible air quality numbers that they've been dealing with, Chicago, Detroit, Pittsburgh, they're not going to get into here. We are going to get into sensitive group kind of levels here. The orange kind of alerts here, that's what we've got out for the city and near suburbs. The farther north and east you go, the less air quality issues you will have. Those numbers should be moderate to even good in some areas. But then the farther south you go, down towards the southern part of Jersey and over towards Pennsylvania, that's when we will get towards and into the red numbers of unhealthy situations for everybody. Those AQI numbers are 150 plus. Trying to do some education here too, Linda, and all this to make sure that people understand the numbers they're seeing. Today's situation is going to warm up to 84 with the sun hazy at times, not terribly hazy. I mean, you're going to still see some blue in it, mixing with some clouds. It looks like any shower thunderstorm activity is suppressed here next couple of days. So 84 today, 86 tomorrow. It looks dry, similar air quality issues. And then it gets more humid into the weekend, closer to 80 with shower thunderstorm chances going up Saturday. I think even more so Sunday and Monday. There could be a couple of occasions each day with showers and thunderstorms, hopefully easing off that pedal as we get into the 4th of July and the Macy's fireworks on Tuesday. Midtown temperature now 73, hitting a high of 84 today. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Dean DeVore on New York's weather station, 1010 Winds on 92.3 FM.
And Dean, we had to cut in here with some breaking news. The Supreme Court has just struck down affirmative action in college admissions. We just got that decision coming across. The Supreme Court has ruled that in that case that the Harvard and UNC admissions programs violate the 14th Amendment's Equal Protection Clause when using affirmative action. Again, we just got the decision from the Supreme Court. They have struck down affirmative action in college admissions. Wins News Time 10:14.
Do you hear that? That is the sound of BMW performance without a single piston or cylinder. A generation of all-electric vehicles designed and built like no other. The BMW iX, i7, and i4 revolutionize every drive into a thrilling opportunity to feel the pure rush of BMW 100% electric. But isn't that what you'd expect from the ultimate electric driving machine?
Lease a 2023 BMW iX xDrive 50 for $929 per month. Visit tristatebmw.com.
Macy's 4th of July sale has great deals on everything you need to get you, your crew, and your space ready. Get 50 to 60% off swimwear for all and 30 to 60% off bedding and bath essentials. Plus, take 40 to 50% off almost all sandals now during the great sandals sale. Macy's Star Rewards members can earn rewards even faster during Star Money bonus days. See Macy's.com/Star Rewards. Savings off regular sale and clearance prices. Exclusions apply.
New to the Bet Rivers Casino app? Then let's show you around. Starting with tons of amazing slots, including the exciting Tiger Lord and Peacock Beauty. Or check out the action of Live Dealer Lightning Roulette and our incredible Live Dealer Blackjack. Plus, add our award-winning customer service and the fun never ends. Bet Rivers Casino app with slots and live dealer games. It's a whole new game. Download it today.
Must be 21 plus. Available in New Jersey only. Void where prohibited. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Do you want a second chance to win cash? Enter eligible HGTV's My Lottery Dream Home Scratch-Off tickets from the New York Lottery for a second chance to win $1 million. Visit NYLMyLotteryDreamHome.com today for a chance to give your dreams a home. Please play responsibly. Must be 18 plus.
Get moving in the most electrifying Honda vehicles yet, like the CR-V and Accord, with available hybrid powertrains designed for more responsive performance. Honda, the 2022 Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com Best Value brand. For a limited time, well-qualified buyers can get a 3.9% APR on a 2023 Honda CR-V hybrid or 2023 Accord hybrid.
Contact your local Honda dealer today.
See dealer for financing details based on 2022 brand image awards from Kelley Blue Book. Visit KBB.com for more information.
Wins News Time 10:17. Might be time to race to the supermarket. There's a sriracha sauce shortage.
A popular brand of sriracha hot sauce is in short supply because of the apparent effects of climate change. The Hoi Fung Foods Company says production is down because severe weather has affected the quality and availability of the peppers it uses. The company says it's not clear when the shortage will ease. Meanwhile, bottles are reportedly being offered online for many times the retail price.
That's correspondent Chanel Call reporting.
See you later, alligator.
Well, a Louisiana couple recently woke up to a big surprise when they discovered an alligator inside their home. Don and Jan Schultz were woken up one night by their dog barking loudly, and Don went out to check what was happening, thinking that someone had broken into the house. He headed down a hallway, and that's when he saw the 5-foot alligator inside. The couple called 911, and the Wildlife and Fisheries Department were able to come and capture the alligator. The alligator had gotten into the house through the doggy door. They have now bought a pet door lock that only unlocks when the dog's collar is near. Well, science is giving us another good reason to change your sheets on a regular basis.
Mattress company Amerisleep analyzed bacterial growth on unwashed, slept-in bedding over a period of 4 weeks. Conclusion, after just 1 week, your pillowcases and sheets contain up to 5 million bacterial colonies per square inch. That's 17,000 times as much as a toilet seat. And after a week, they racked up almost 25,000 times the bacteria found on the average bathroom doorknob. That bacteria included types that can cause infections like pneumonia.
That's correspondent Deborah Rodriguez. One of the iconic outfits from the galaxy far, far away has sold for a price that was not quite out of this world. Well, at least not compared to expectations. The gown that Carrie Fisher wore as Princess Leia in the final scene of the original Star Wars movie in 1977 was expected to sell for as much as $2 million in a prop store auction, but the winning bid ended up at $975,000. Of course, that's still a lot unless you're, used to wearing Valentino or something. There is no word yet on what will happen to it, but it's believed the gown's new owner will be putting it on display. A new study says there's a certain kind of meditation that appears to help folks with depression recall their positive memories.
Researchers in the UK looked specifically at what's called kindness meditation, which guides people to practice unconditional kindness to themselves and others. The study found just 10 minutes a day visualizing themselves encouraging happiness, health, and peace helped people with depression make memories of themselves clearer.
That's correspondent Michael George. The station you know, the people you trust. 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
All news, all the time. This is 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Good morning, 73 degrees, and we'll call it partly sunny, but hazy in Manhattan at 10:20. I'm Linda Lopez, and here's what's happening. That smoke and haze from the wildfires are back today for the city. An air quality alert in effect for the city, Long Island, Westchester, and Rockland until at least midnight tonight. The Supreme Court has just struck down the use of affirmative action in college admissions. We'll bring you the latest next. The Queens man charged with manslaughter for stabbing a man on the J train will not face prosecution. A grand jury found it was self-defense. President Biden is in the city today for some fundraisers, so expect some gridlock later. And Tom Cruise really wants you to see the Barbie movie and Indiana Jones and Mission Impossible this summer, as long as you go see them all in theaters. Taking a look at 1010 Winds AccuWeather. We have that smoke, haze returning, air quality alerts in effect. We'll get all the details for you coming up in 1010 Winds AccuWeather. Winds News Time 1021. Time for traffic and transit on the ones, and we head over to Russ Meyer.
And I'm going to take you to the Bronx. Heads up for those traveling the Bruckner. We have got a crash. It's on the northbound side of the Bruckner, coming into Sheridan Boulevard. The left lane is out of commission, TFN, and we have got traffic backed up all the way to the RFK Bridge. It is jammed up. Southbound's a whole different story. Everything is doing okay. Also, looking at a top on the southbound side of Henry Hudson Parkway from the 150s on down towards south of 125th Street, where a crash has been blocking a lane. Now we'll head over to Nassau and Suffolk, and here's what we see on Long Island's Big Three. Got some roadwork delays on the eastbound side of the Long Island Expressway, and that is over by Manetto Hill Road on the eastbound side. Also westbound slow from Lakeville Road across Island Parkway. Overall, northern states doing better. And I got nothing for you on the southern state. And here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. Over at the George Washington Bridge, it'll be about 20 minutes inbound for the upper and lower levels. Outbound's about close to about a half hour now. Lincoln's about 10 minutes in, 10 minutes out, and it's about 10 minutes in and about 5 minutes out over at the Holland Tunnel. Also south on the Garden State Parkway, watch for slowdowns over by exit 142. A crash there has just been moved over to the shoulder. This report sponsored by your local Mazda dealer. The first ever Mazda CX-90s here, the only 3-row SUV offering performance of an inline 6-turbo engine and craftsmanship of a hand-stitched leather interior. Experience the Mazda CX-90. Visit your local Mazda dealer at MazdaUSA.com for more information. Our next report, 1031. I'm Russ Meyer, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
And let's get the latest on our 1010 Winds AccuWeather forecast. What do we need to worry about for the air quality alert today?
Well, yeah, what we need to worry about is if you are sensitive to these situations, I think you should worry. It is not the situation we saw 3 weeks ago where it looked like Mars and you couldn't breathe. It was a choking situation. A little bit of haze in the atmosphere, maybe a little bit of smell. It's not as accurate, this smoke smell we've been seeing and feeling where it's been prevalent. But again, I would just limit your exertion, especially the farther south and west you go from the city. That's where the pool of the heavier concentrations of this pollution are. And you get into those orange and even red numbers, you go deep South Jersey and back west towards the New Jersey-Pennsylvania border. We're going to stay in these kinds of numbers here the next couple of days, and then we're going to continue to see this go back and forth in terms of air quality. This will not be the last session of smoke and haze that we deal with, I think, this summer. Shower and thunderstorm chances have suppressed a little bit the next couple of days. Is with the humidity. Will they come back? It does look like they will later in the holiday weekend. I'll talk about that in 10 minutes on New York's weather station, 1010 Winds on 92.3 FM.
And just minutes ago, we got into the 1010 Winds newsroom. The decision from the Supreme Court just being released. They have struck down the use of affirmative action in college admissions. ABC News legal analyst Royal Oakes is joining us right now to tell us a little bit more. Royal, tell us exactly what the court found. Why did they say they came to this decision?
Well, the court's opinion said that the affirmative action programs, to the extent they pay explicit attention to race, violate the Constitution, the 14th Amendment, equal protection rules. This case, you'll recall, was brought by Students for Fair Admissions. The student activist group brought cases against both Harvard and the University of North Carolina. At the very end of the opinion, however, it does say nothing in this opinion should be construed as prohibiting universities from considering an applicant's discussion of how race affected his or her life, be it through discrimination, inspiration, or otherwise. So that still will be permitted, but the court is taking a firm stand against the idea that diversity is so important that it should allow explicit race factors as grounds for admission to higher education.
We know this was a 6-3 decision. You know, advocates and even President Biden has said this could have a real effect on students of color. What effect could this have?
Well, of course, there has been a focus on Asian applicants, and statistics suggested that when the diversity programs, the affirmative action programs were implemented, it dramatically reduced and penalized Asian American students. And this opinion is in part designed to end that kind of discrimination. And it's not a surprise in the sense that not only were there tea leaves to be read at the oral argument months ago, Chief Justice Roberts got into a spirited exchange attacking the idea of using race. But for a long time, Roberts' famous quote has been that the way to end racial discrimination is to stop discriminating based on race. And so the many decisions rejecting quotas are reaffirmed here, but also this is a rejection of the goal of diversity if, in fact, it depends on an explicit reference to race.
That's ABC News legal analyst Royal Oakes. Royal, thanks so much.
You bet.
When's News Time 1026? Let's get a quick check of Bloomberg Money Watch now. Here's Steve Potisk.
Yeah, Linda, we're looking at some mixed moves on Wall Street. The Dow is higher by 200 points. The Nasdaq, though, down 14, while the S&P is in the plus column now by 8 points. Bloomberg Money Watch at 26 and 56 past every hour. I'm Steve Potisk for 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM.